Hi, thank you for watching Digging to China. I'm Dong Xiong. It's been a banner year for billionaires the world over. In 2021, Forbes found a record 2,755 billionaires across 70 countries. Last year, there were 2,095 billionaires, a nearly one-third growth. Once again, nearly half of the individuals on Forbes' World's Billionaires list hail from the US and China. But nearly every other country on the planet also gained new billionaires this year. The US still has the highest number of billionaires in the world, with 724 American citizens in the Billionaire Club, a record high. But the gap between the first and the second spot has narrowed. China gained a stunning 239 billionaires since March 2020, bringing its total to 626. The gap between the number of billionaires in these two countries has been shrinking for years, declining from 283 in 2018 to 227 in 2019, and now just 98. Outside of the top two, a new country broke into the third spot, India, with 140 billionaires, pushed past Germany, which fell to fourth with 136 billionaires. India gained 19 new billionaires this year, a feat matched by Canada and exceeded only by the US, China, and Germany. Further down, Italy entered the top 10 with 51 billionaires, dislodging France, which fell to the 15th spot. In 2018, for the first time in history, more of the world's wealthiest people lived in China than the United States. Out of the hundreds of millions of people that make up the wealthiest 10% of people on the planet, in 2018, 100 million lived in China and 99 million lived in the United States, according to Credit Suisse's Global Wealth Report 2019. The global top 10% have net worth above $109,000. Credit Suisse found that the group owns 82% of the world's wealth. In China, it's good to be rich, but not too rich. Getting to the top of the billionaire ranking carries great risks. Just take a look at those who were once first among plutocrats. All got into trouble with Beijing, be they real estate developers or big tech bosses. Wang Jianling is the founder of commercial real estate Dalian Wanda Group Corporation and was China's richest person as recently as 2016. Mr. Wang was forced by the government to divest his overseas assets a year later when Beijing began a corporate deleveraging campaign in earnest. Xu Jiaying was China's richest man in 2017. He is the owner of China Evergrande Group, the world's most indebted developer. He was asked to cut back on debt after his company crossed the country's new 3 red lines. The best-known billionaire made an example of by Beijing is, of course, Jack Ma, founder of Alibaba Group Holdings. According to several news reports, President Xi Jinping was furious with Mr. Ma because the tech billionaire criticized China's state-owned banks. In early November, President Xi personally pulled Ma's $35 billion Ant Group initial public offering. 5 months later, China slapped a record $2.8 billion fine on Alibaba after an anti-monopoly probe. Another China's billionaire, Pony Ma, was not spared either. He is the owner of Tencent Holdings Limited. Tencent has just become Beijing's next target for oversight because of its fintech operations and acquisition deals. Conspicuous wealth attracts unwanted scrutiny. Beijing is wary of rich developers because they often load up on debt to fuel expansion, thereby putting corporate China's financial health at risk. The government is just as watchful of big tech as it gets bigger. The ubiquity of Alibaba and Tencent in the economy raises the issue of their monopolistic powers, which can choke innovation but also pose systemic risks to Chinese society, aka the supremacy of the Communist Party. So, What are the smart ways for billionaires to retain their wealth but stay officially correct? Give to charity. If you have to be China's richest, you should also be the country's most philanthropical. Take Colin Huang, the founder of Pinduoduo Inc., the e-commerce startup whose sharp stock rally propelled him to number 4 in the rankings. In terms of active users, the 6-year-old company has overtaken Alibaba as the most popular online shopping site. Last summer, he donated a larger than 10% stake in Pinduoduo to charity and scientific research. That, combined with a 2.7% ownership transfer to an early investor, led to a more than $10 billion decrease in his net worth, according to the Bloomberg Billionaire Index. It now stands at $46.3 billion. Mr. Huang recently stepped down as the company's chairman to focus on life science research, which not only led to a slide in Pinduoduo's shares, but personally cost him another $4 billion. In officially socialist China, move down the ranking is important. Philanthropy is a good way to exhibit one's selflessness. You can't be too critical of a person who gives his money and time away to medical science. In 2014, the best company at surveying the rich in China, Hurun, announced that more than 60% of the people it surveyed had already immigrated to another country or were considering doing so. The US is the top destination among Chinese millionaires looking to move their families and money. Buying overseas real estate has become a popular way for the Chinese rich to offshore their fortunes. Foreign exchange deposits and immovable property are the most popular overseas investment options. They spend an average of $800,000 on buying a property. Los Angeles was the top city for Chinese millionaires to buy property, followed by New York, Boston, and San Francisco. Why do rich Chinese people leave China? Each person has their different reasons for wanting to leave. The main reasons are China is becoming more authoritarian since Xi Jinping came to power, and the Communist Party is targeting some business people. The pollution, poor education, food security, and other issues remain. It is getting harder to move money out of China. Some people have personal, social, or political reasons for leaving. Even those wealthy Chinese that aren't fleeing, they often want another residency or passport. There are countless wealthy Chinese that live in China but have another passport or tax residency. Despite official propaganda, China is now mid-income and the economy is not growing fast before 2020. Many company owners want to expand in frontier markets that are growing like China was in the 1990s and early mid-2000s. One interesting observation: Chinese communist leaders denounce U.S. values but send their children to U.S. college. Even President Xi Jinping's daughter enrolled at Harvard University in 2010 under what people who knew her there say was a fake name. She is one of the princelings who have come to the United States to study. They rarely attend state schools, but congregate instead at top-tier and very expensive private colleges. A stark rejection of the egalitarian ideals that brought the Communist Party to power in 1949. Vote with feet. Thank you for watching. Please leave a comment and subscribe to my channel. Just click the subscribe button right here. I'll see you again shortly.